Hi, this is Kristen here. Welcome to another process video. And today I'm working on 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. This is series 19 and I'm working on sketch number 27. So this is by Jennifer Kane at Scrapping Kane. And so I'm going to use the Doodlebug. I think this is called Fun at the Park or Adventure at the Park. It's an older collection. And I'm going to document a couple of photographs of my son. We were at Universal, so this was actually our last day there. So we had done 3 days at Disney, we had done Epic Universe, and then did Universal. And so we had actually found a star for my son, my oldest son, and then we just so happened to see this Williams of Hollywood building there. So, of course, my younger son recognized his name right away, and so we had to get a picture of him with it. Of course, he was sitting on Daddy's shoulders because at that point everybody was tired and really was kind of done walking everywhere. So I wasn't feeling particularly the best either. Like we had ridden, I don't remember what ride we had gone on, but it made me, it was the Harry Potter one. Made me super nauseous. So it's the one that's inside the building. So it's kind of like a moving / like 3D where it's like basically you're playing the Quidditch, if I'm saying that right. And it made me so nauseous. So I all day did not feel great. So it was kind of one of those things where at least I couldn't really go on any rides anymore because I just did not feel well. So anyways, we were kind of like all tired and ready to go. And so, but we were happy to see this building here with his name on it because it made him really happy. So anyways, I'm picking out the papers here. I decided I'm going to use this yellow star paper as my main, the black paper that you saw with the different color stars, that's going to be my border, and then the red heart paper will be kind of my paper that goes behind the photographs. So I roughly cut off about 1 inch on either side, and then you'll see me here in a little bit. I'll gut that black paper so I can stretch it. This is an older collection. I'm wanting to say it probably came out shortly after COVID because there were actually a couple of different graphics on it that had kind of like face masks on it. So I'm assuming that's kind of when it had come out. And I had to piecemeal this collection together. So I got some of it from scrapbook.com. I was able to find some of it on Amazon. So I take my time with this cutter because, again, this cutter is old. It's really sharp. I mean, it does a good job cutting, but it, if you're not careful with how the paper is lined up in it, it will definitely cut, not straight. So here's where I'm just going to gut that paper so I can stretch it a little bit more, since this is kind of a collection that's a little bit tougher to get your hands on. That's one reason too, like I find myself buying collections I don't necessarily need now. I did buy quite a bit of Disney and, any kind of Disney themed, like park themed papers, just because I knew I was gonna have a lot of pages to document with Disney. But I find myself like I have fear of missing out. So, because I feel like a lot of these collections, like I've seen collections that people have done that I'm like, I really like that paper. And they're like, well, you can't get it anymore. And that's when you're like, oh. So I see a collection that comes out and I really like it. Like I have a hard time not buying it, even if I don't use it right away. Because I'm like, who knows if I'll be able to get my hands on it down the line. So. But I'm really trying hard to get out of that mindset and realize that I've got plenty to work with, and unless it's something I really like, to try to hold off. But it's like, you see pretty paper, it's hard to not buy it. So to me, it looked like in the sketch, like the pictures were a little wonky on the right side. I do decide I'm going to cut them down just a little bit, just to make them work a little bit, since I cut that border down. or cut that yellow paper down to make sure it was going to fit within that yellow paper. So anyways, yeah, that Harry Potter ride made me so nauseous. Like, first off, we had gotten a butterbeer like right before we got on it, so I had nothing on my stomach besides that really sweet drink. So I don't think that helped. I am somebody that is like pretty motion sick. Anyways, and so I think with the motion and then like just kind of the 3D, I got real nauseous on that one. The kids end up getting on another ride after that, and I opted out for it. Like, I was just like, I'm not going to get on it. So it was one of those rides, like, I was happy when it was done. We went and got something to eat after that, too, and I thought maybe that would settle my stomach, but all day I just felt unsettled. And then we pretty much just walked around. We didn't do a lot of rides that day. It was pretty busy there, too. Like, there were a lot of people there. So it was, like, a lot of the rides. Like, we wanted to ride Hagrid's, and we couldn't get on that because it was a long wait. And we had early access, but it had rained all morning, so we really didn't even get to Universal till probably about 11:30 or noon that day because everything was kind of shut down and paused for the time being. So we didn't even get to really use our early access for that. So that was kind of a bummer. Anyways, I'm going to start pulling in some different ephemera pieces. He loves trees, so I wanted to try to get a tree worked on there. I was considering doing both trees, but I will change that out. This little ticket booth I thought was cute too. And I know this is like heavily Disney themed, and obviously we're not at Disney, but it was a Disney trip, and I mean, you're hard pressed to find any kind of Universal themed paper, so I was like, we'll just go with it. We were mostly there for Disney, and the big thing was we wanted to get to Epic Universe. So Epic Universe was okay. We had an okay experience there. The problem is like you had early access, but they only had 2 of the worlds open for early access. So it was Monsters and then, of course, Super Nintendo. So, of course, Super Nintendo was super packed. We tried to get on the Mario Kart ride, and that kept breaking down. So it ended up going from supposedly a 45-minute line to like close to 2 hours. And then the Minecart one was like the Donkey Kong one, it was closed down, so we never did get on that one. It finally opened up later in the day, but at that point we were just whipped. We never did get to ride the Harry Potter or get in the queue because it had broke down and they weren't even letting people in the queue to see the queue. So that was kind of a bust. We had tried to see the little circus show that they have there, which is supposed to be really neat. That ended up breaking down and not working. I guess they have I don't know if they've got holographic stuff, but it wasn't working. So we had stood in line for that for 45 minutes. We had a good time at the Isle of Berk. So that's, of course, How to Train Your Dragons. We got to ride pretty much almost everything over there. So, I mean, the worlds were really neat. Monsters Unchained, that ride was really neat. But it was kind of one of those where it was everything kept breaking down. So that was a little frustrating. But I also know, it had only been open for, at that point, a couple weeks or maybe a month. So it is what it is. I did have a coworker go, and he had a much better experience. Things weren't breaking down. So anyways, I ended up adding some fireworks, some little hearts there, kind of scattered around the page, because to me it looked like she had little stars kind of scattered on there. I feel like I stayed pretty close to the sketch. So anyways, here are some close-up shots. I will include the Facebook group as well as the YouTube playlist, and I appreciate you for coming by to watch another process video.